Hey everyone, what do we got here today? We got a GameCube with the dead battery. So this is my original GameCube, also another system that I love, although maybe not as much as the Dreamcast. Not as old as the Dreamcast, but from the same generation. And what does that mean? The batteries are dying. So what are you going to need? You're going to need a screwdriver, but not just any screwdriver. It's kind of a special one. You can see the screws I've already taken out, and the head is going to be concave on the screwdriver. As you can see, these screws are convex. You want to be careful is when you buy these from Amazon, they're often labeled as GameCube screwdrivers. The exact millimeter diameter of the screws and the name of it you can find, but these do get sold as like GameCube console repair screwdrivers. And what you want to watch out for here is that they're not long enough. So you're going to want to get one that's extra long, or you're going to need to attach it to a drill bit on another screwdriver device. So once you have the top of the GameCube off, you'll once again look at the front where the controller ports are. Remove the small ribbon, which is attached right here, and then you're good to go. So you can get rid of the rest of the GameCube and just concentrate on this area with the controller ports, because that's where the battery is. And so you can see here there's two soldering points for a very simple battery. This time we won't be installing a kind of like battery holder. We'll just be putting a new battery with these two connection points back in, and it'll be good for another maybe 10 years. And so there's the new battery. You can get these pretty inexpensively off of eBay or Amazon. Again, there's a positive side and a negative side. It will only fit in one way, so you don't have to worry too much about getting it wrong. And so we have another soldering and desoldering, or desoldering and soldering job. So here I have both the desoldering gun, the solder suckers soldering iron combo, and a soldering iron. So there's two points here that you're going to have to remove. The key here is you're going to want to get it to be hot, and then you want to go in with the solder sucker and then use the vacuum button on that to suck up the hot, loose, wet, liquid solder. So here, as per the Dreamcast video, I'm doing as I warned you all. You should be using these kind of clamp magic hands to stabilize it. And if you're doing that, you can use both hands to use a soldering iron and a solder sucker. So again, I think it's a little bit harder to desolder. The pins that keep the battery in place here are a little bit bigger. Unlike with the Dreamcast one, you can't just put the desoldering solder sucker atop of the pins and pull them out. As you can see there, I have one of them almost gone. The other one is being a little bit tricky. So you're going to want to use the soldering iron to get it loose. And here comes the non-hot regular solder sucker. So we're going to try that out for a little bit. So getting it hot turns the solder that's already on there back to being a liquid. Some people will recommend using some flux and additional solder to get it on there to kind of create more of a kind of a surface area, kind of a buffer, an area that's a little bit more prone to being liquid, so you have more to work with, so that it doesn't cool off too quickly, and that you can kind of get in there with one, the hot soldering iron, and two, the solder sucker to pick up the hot solder. If you look closely, you can see as it gets shiny, it becomes liquid, and that's really when you want to get the vacuum on the solder sucker in there and pull it out. So now that we've got the battery removed, we're going to work on soldering the new battery on there. The new battery is right there underneath the board on top of the styrofoam. And I'm using the soldering wire to apply some flux so that the solder will flow more nicer as we get it on there. Some soldering tips that I've heard from people, and again, this is my second soldering job, so bear with me here, is, when you think about soldering, you think you're applying the solder, the wire, to the area you want to solder, and then you're applying heat and you're trying to merge the two things together. Oftentimes, it's better to apply a little bit of the new solder onto the soldering iron, and so it'll be really hot and liquid, and it'll be like a little bubble on the soldering iron. And from there, you want to kind of like dribble it on or let it fall onto. So it's not like you're using the soldering iron to make contact between 2 points, but rather you're kind of like loosely applying adjacent to what you want to solder as from the soldering iron. So it's like more of a less direct kind of way of doing it. So there we got it on, and it's nice and tough. I think I added a little too much flux there. You can see a lot of yellow. So we'll clean that up shortly. On the board here, you don't want to break anything, but you should feel confident that there's not much to break as long as you treat that ribbon cable that connects the controller board and battery to the system. As long as you treat that delicately, you should be fine. So cleaning it up here, removing the extra flux, cleaning up the area that might have been kind of burned or that you had contact with recently. Just a good idea, keeping it looking clean. So now we're going to reassemble the front part. You're going to want to reattach the controller board to the gray front face cover. I think there's 3 screws. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver in addition to the kind of special GameCube one. So get those 3 screws back on, and then you'll be able to reattach the ribbon cable, and then you'll be able to lock back in these 2 kind of clips on the side and just reinstall it. So the rest is pretty easy. Again, the hardest part is the desoldering and the resoldering, with the desoldering being a little bit tougher. This is a great first project. Restoring the GameCube battery is pretty easy to do, pretty inexpensive, and it's a great way to learn how to solder and repair electronics yourself. So go ahead and clip that on into the front. If you did it backwards, you'll know kind of right away. The GameCube memory card slots will be in the wrong place, and pop that baby back on top, and you're good to go. So yeah, comment if you found this difficult or easy, and what other repairs you think we should be able to do. And until next time, thanks for watching.